Okay, now that you've done your assembly, we're going to go ahead and create a drawing file of your assembly with the balloons to show where the parts go. So this is my completed assembly. I should only have one grounded item, and I'll come around and check your assembly next week. I'm going to go ahead and start a new drawing file. And again, the paper is really huge, so I want to change the size of that. I'm going to edit the sheet, and I'm going to go into A size paper, which is 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to go ahead and delete the block for right now. I'm going to go into base, and what I want to do is I want to find my project, so the assembly file. There it is. I can tell because it has the .iam extension and the little symbol that indicates it's an assembly. I'll hit open. Now the view, I want it to be more isometric, so I'm going to go to this corner, give myself an isometric view, and the scale, a quarter might be kind of small, so I'm going to go to a half and move that towards the center of the screen. Now I want to make sure that it's shaded, and I want to make sure that hidden lines are removed. So those two things need to be highlighted, or it'll be kind of a blue shade to them. Shaded and hidden lines removed. I changed the scale so it's the correct scale that I want to take up about half of the page. I click OK, and there is my assembly file. I'm going to switch over to where it says annotate. I'm going to go to balloon. And now each one of these parts I need to indicate what the part is with the balloon. So I'm going to come in here, click on the edge of the part. It's going to ask me for the source file. That's fine. Now you want to bring the line that's coming back on the arrow at a diagonal. It has to be diagonal. It can't be horizontal. It can't be vertical. It has to be diagonal. About 45, anywhere between 30 to 60 degrees. It's a short diagonal line. You click once, move over about 1/4 of an inch, and then double click. That'll place that. So that's part number 10. This is still highlighted, so I can go in here and get the next part. I don't want my arrows to cross each other. And again, I want the lines to be short. Pick a new location. I wasn't happy with that one. Come down here instead underneath. You don't want the person to have to go very far to find the part, so these arrows need to be kind of short. I'll show you an example of what you don't want to do. You want to do something like this, because then the person has to go really far to find where the part is. So let me undo that. Go and get my balloon again. Click on the edge. Make sure you place the tip of the arrow on the edge of the part. You don't want to have to you don't want it over here where it's crossing over the part. It would be better to have it right on the edge of the part instead. So that way you're not having these lines complicate the view of the part. It's okay if they go up and to the right and up, or to the right and down. Left, up, left, down is fine. Just make sure that it's diagonal. So I can come down here if my balloon selected. And then I need to do these parts in here. So balloon. Again, the length of this line should be pretty consistent. Now you'll notice that this one's a little bit crooked. So I'm going to zoom in and straighten it out. There we go. This one's a little crooked right there as well, so I'm going to straighten this one out. This one's a little bit crooked, so I'm going to straighten that out. Straighten this one out as well. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to double back like that where you have this small angle inside here. So I'm going to see, maybe I can move this one down and over a little bit and see if I can place that other one maybe right here instead. All right. And I'll go ahead and place one over here. So all of your parts need to be identified with one of these balloons. So make sure that they're all pointing to the part. Now if there's a part that you can't be seen because it's inside, some of you have like a little peg. I'm going to move this one to the other side to give myself a little bit more room over here. There we go. If some of you have one that you can't see because it's inside of your airplane or it's the neck of your animal, it'll still show up in your parts list. You'll just have to tell the person where to find it. So now that I have balloons on all my parts, I know there's probably a couple parts I don't have it on. That I'm just gonna, but I want you to make sure you have it for all of your parts. If you have certain parts that repeat, you don't have to put it on all of them. So I'm going to go to my parts list. It's going to say select the document. So I'm going to find my assembly, catapult, click open, click OK, click yes, and OK. And here is my parts list now. And I'm going to try and resize this a little bit so I can squeeze in my table, and if it still doesn't fit, I might have to resize my view. Here I'm overlapping. I don't want to overlap. So if I can't get this to fit nicely on the page, I'm going to go in here to my model. Edit my model. I was at 50% before. I'm going to go to 45%. And see if I can just slide this up a little bit. Give myself the room that I need to have both my model and my parts list on the page. Now, see, I have balloons on the margin. I don't want that. That looks bad. There you go. Everything fits on the page. I've got my parts list. So now what I need to do in the description, I want you to put the name of who created that part. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, go to edit parts list, and in the description put the name of who created the part. So which team member created the part goes into the description. You can tell which ones have balloons on them already. All these should have balloons unless they're hidden for some reason. I click OK, and now it shows up in the description. Each person on the team needs to create one of these. So it's not just one of them. Each person needs to create their own because I want each one of you to have the experience of doing this. So go ahead and do this. When you go ahead and save that, call it parts list, save. Now, it's important that you do not turn this in, but rather you go to File, you go to Print, change it into a PDF. Or actually, here's an easier way to do it. Let's go under File, Export, PDF. Export this drawing with your exploded view, or not exploded view, but your parts list and your balloons on your assembly. Export that as a PDF, and that's what you'll be turning in through Google Classroom, is the PDF version of this. Again, it's very important that you do not turn in just the DWG file or the IDW file, because I won't be able to open it. If in your parts number in this column right here, if you have a name that doesn't make sense, you could edit that as well. Like part 6 closed doesn't really help me. So I would need to go in, find whatever item number 8 is. It's the right side of arm holder. So update your part numbers with a good description of what they are. In the description column, tell me who made them. These 2 items will get populated automatically, so this will match your balloons, and this will tell me how many of those parts are needed to assemble it. So for example, part 6, I needed 2 of those. I didn't need to put a balloon on each one, but I do need to have 2 of them.